In the comedy of the late great Queen. I wonder what she'd make on Starmer's 6th. Actually, by the way, do you want to send Keir Starmer birthday wishes?
Not particularly.
No.
Must I?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Actually, let's let's start with Keir Starmer before we talk about the news. He came back yesterday reinvigorated, despite the fact that politically the ground has shifted and Farage and everybody else have been talking about the things that matter for the last few weeks. Been on holiday, and he decided that it's new phase number 2, and this is what he put out on social media. This will inspire you of a morning. Have a listen, have a watch.
Summer's definitely over, and this morning we've got all the number 10 staff together and talked through what phase 2 of the government is going to look like and feel like. So we go into phase 2, 1st of September 2025, in good spirits, confident and with conviction about what we're doing. It needs a more powerful number 10, so we've added to the team with some really important new members. I made a number of other changes, but this is about focus on delivery now, marching forward to the next phase of government.
He doesn't believe what he's saying.
No, he doesn't.
Listen to the tone.
It's vacuous rubbish. But here's the best bit. Yesterday, Darren Jones was the Chief Secretary to the Treasury. He's now, well, he's basically is his right-hand man now, Darren Jones. This is the man who went, we haven't got that clip, have we? The man who went on Question Time and said, genuinely, every single person that arrives in a boat is a woman and a baby. And they went, sorry, is there something wrong with you, you idiot?
Yeah.
So he's a liar, so he probably fits in well. Not that they like that. Oh, we've got the clip. This is the new man in number 10. This is how incompetently... I mean, it was made the Express today because I dared to call him a liar. He is a liar. Have a watch.
And when you see that the majority of the people in these boats are children, babies and women who have been...
No, they're not.
No,
they're not.
No, you have got to take... No, look, I get this is...
North of 90% of them are adult men.
Let me be... No. That's not true.
Hang on, you're saying that's not true?
No, look, this is why it's controversial.
Is it true or
I'm
not?
saying it's not true.
Let me get this clear. It wasn't true. You're a liar. You'll fit in brilliantly at number 10.
In this new role, which Starmer created,
yes, he did,
Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister. Never existed before this role.
No.
Darren Jones, incompetent, clearly.
Yes.
Tells untruths.
Yes,
clearly. Newly promoted into this role.
Yes.
And Starmer has the temerity to tell us that things are going to get better.
Calm, it's only 6:10, calm, because we'll explode by 7 o'clock. We did this on drive time. Honestly, he's going to self-combust. What is it called, that?
Self-combust.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's start. I mean, it is true. Front of the Mail this morning, in all its glory. You'll remember when the French came to play. Macron came over, and they had a meeting, and they've gone to one in and one out. Yes. Well, so far, in the last 5 weeks, it's not gone well. No wonder they need a reset. We got 3,567 in and none out. Yvette Cooper, or Mrs. Balls, as she said, stood up and was full of the joys of spring. But nothing changes, PB, nothing.
If I give you a pen...
let's do it. Oh, thank you. Yeah,
pen in.
Yes.
Yeah, and you give me a pen.
No, I'm keeping it. I want 3,005. Bugger off.
Oh, I see. So I'll give you another 3,566 pence.
It's true.
See, one in, one out. It's just utter drivel.
It is.
Utter nonsense. And you know what? On Hunstanton Beach on Sunday afternoon, because I'm a keen observer of everything.
We've heard, yes.
Which doesn't mean I'm discourteous.
Tom's his nickname.
I'm not discourteous to my friends and all of that.
No.
I can, but, you know, from my old undercover days, I can hold your attention, but also be very aware of what's going on.
Peripheral vision, PB.
You got it, exactly, right? There was a bunch of black and brown young men playing volleyball on the beach.
Yes.
Right? They stood out, not only because of their skin colour, but they were only people playing volleyball on this bit pebbly, bit sandy kind of, but nonetheless lovely beach. So I kind of kept my ears open and my eyes open and had a little look, right? There was one man there who was an elder brown-skinned man who seemed to be overseeing things, shall we say. And there was some catering going on by two women in Muslim headdresses, right? And a white elderly lady, right?
Yes.
At the end of the eating, they were packing the stuff away. It was all that kind of stuff that you get in a cash and carry, you know, your very big tubs of mayonnaise and ketchup and this, that and the other.
Nerded and peacock. Yes.
Right? That sort of kind of stuff. So I kind of asked about and did a little bit and was able to confirm that this group of young men were, in fact, recent arrivals into the UK.
Yes.
And they were having a day out.
Yes.
I couldn't establish from what establishment they'd come, although I did try my best. And there they were, Hunstanton Beach, and at one point, one young man peeled off, went to the edge of the water and stared out across the wash for a very long time, clearly deep in thought. I was going to approach him and put a bit of flesh on the bones of this story of these migrant people playing volleyball on the beach in Hunstanton, but unfortunately he moved off and the group moved away, and I thought I've asked enough questions, spoken to enough people, and perhaps
the gentleman there, was he coaching them volleyball skills? Because I suspect that's a really important part of coming to the United Kingdom. Is that why he was here? And did you think... I mean, I told a similar story the other day. They know. I was on Sandbanks Beach the other day, and you could see there were migrant men and families were leaving. That is a fact. For all the people that will tune in, not to this station, but they'll attack you, they'll attack me, they'll attack Mike, they'll go, you can't say that. I can say that because families in this country go back to Epping every single day. That was women and parents concerned about the safety of their kids. There is nothing fundamentally wrong with saying it. And for all those do-gooders who go, oh, I heard somebody yesterday, persecution, do one. This sounds a terrible thing to say, Pete. I would love some of these do-gooders who seem to put migrants' wishes and desires ahead of the indigenous population. I would love them to have a teenage daughter. I would love them to be in an area where migrants were, who we don't know anything about. They're everywhere. I would love these people to get out of their bubble and understand how the majority of people, I firmly believe in this country, are really concerned. They're not far right, they don't want trouble, but they're looking out for what they know is their family's safety and security. What is wrong with that?
I get that, and I don't suggest for a moment that this group on Hunstanton Beach did anything to cause anybody any alarm or distress on Sunday, but it was very interesting watching them and noticing that they were being transported and were now within the bosom of people whose faith is Islam. Right? Because they were the two predominant ladies that were doing the catering and that kind of stuff. And it would absolutely make sense, wouldn't it? If you come to this country under these circumstances and you're housed in a hotel or wheresoever it may be, and you are essentially homeless, rudderless, but you're here, you're going to be drawn towards someone who will look after you, won't you?
Of course.
And if it is the faith of Islam, and if they are hoovering up many of these young men into that faith, if they're not already followers of that faith, then of course that will only help the numbers of Muslims in the UK grow.
Absolutely.
And as we know, in some regards, there is unfortunately a huge lack of integration.
It's really interesting when we have this discussion because, I mean, I've said it before, I'm really proud that Talk's able to be as candid and as open. There are many people who find what's talked about on this station as wrong, but I would point out respectfully something I said this morning in the makeup room. I don't give a toss if you have the different opinion to me and we'd spend our lives disagreeing. That's what a democracy is about. What we have is a generation, I'm afraid, and a feeling in this country on the left, which is, I'm right, you should be cancelled, destroyed, everything about you and your past should be ground into the earth and we're right. There has to be middle ground. It's 6:15. What do you make of that story? 0344 499 1000. Text to 87222. My favourite story of the morning, front page of the Express. I was that excited, I was having my morning constitution, I phoned Christian. This is great. Nigel Farage accused Sir Keir Starmer of lying repeatedly yesterday over migration and warned the PM, I love this, I'll get rid of you. What I love about this is he basically said, I haven't been invited to the banquet, said Nigel. I've known Trump for longer than you've been in politics, you birthday boy, whatever. He said, as a leader of a party, I'm allowed to suggest peers for the House of Lords. You haven't even bothered to respond to my letter. That's how disrespecting you are. In the House of Commons, you laugh at me and you laugh at my 4 MPs. And then he said, they wouldn't invite me. Hey, we're only 15 points ahead in the polls. I've known Trump personally as a friend for over 15 years. The attitude of this government stinks. They're insulting. They talk down to me. They don't invite me to anything. I wrote to him about House of Lords. I haven't even had a reply. Let me tell you, Sir Keir Starmer, birthday boy, said Nigel Farage, I got rid of David Cameron. I got rid of Theresa May. And if you carry on being rude, you I'll get rid of you. I mean, that's what I want in my politics.
Did you see the footage of Starmer walking to his prime ministerial car yesterday? It was a short
Did he fall over?
He's walking down Downing Street. He looked forlorn. He looked like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Well, he has. He's the Prime Minister and he's cocked up. Hasn't done anything.
He looked forlorn, almost, I would suggest, to the point of being broken by the magnitude of the task. I think he's discovered in the last 14 months or so that he's not up to it, the task is too daunting, and perhaps he regrets ever walking into Downing Street.
Was his wife anywhere to be seen?
No.
6:15. 0344 499 Sharon Miller. Good morning, Jez and Pete. How much more does Starmer want to bloody well change his government? He's only been in Downing Street 12 months. She's in Staffordshire. Talk. I don't know why I say that. Why would it be anything else? Starmer at 63 looks the same as he was when he was a year old, says Bill in Cheshire, the son of a toolmaker. James on Migrant, a voice note. Good morning.
Good morning, Jezza. Good morning, Peter. My blood is boiling. Why is this country a dumping ground for everyone? I'm sick to death of it. Why can't just taxpayers be looked after first? That's not too much to ask, is it? Anyway, thank you, Jeremy.
Yes, it is too much to ask. Don't be so ridiculous, James. What are you doing? You're advocating a government that sticks up for its own people to the detriment of poor migrants who come from persecuted tents in France. You ridiculous human being. What is wrong with James? Get it right. We're supposed to give all that we've got to everybody else and screw our own people. You're obviously completely and utterly wrong, man.
Using the word persecution has made me think about something that I've been mulling over for some time.
This is what happens when you get a little bit older. He spends a lot of time thinking now.
With regards to this migrant issue,
yes.
okay, we hear a lot of the time those who really want open borders and want to turn Croydon into Kabul, and they're doing a very good job of it at the moment, I might add, they say that these people are coming from war-torn countries.
Yep.
Now, call me and millions of Brits old-fashioned, right? But we, generations past, of which we sacrificed many family members...
We did.
...actually picked a side when it came to war. You know what I mean? They picked a side, they chose death before dishonour, and they went out to serve this nation and, in turn, protect the free world. If you're in a war-torn country, wouldn't you pick a side and then pick up a weapon and fight for it?
You would do that, but also if you didn't want to pick a side and you were thinking of leaving, and I'll say this until the cows come home, I'd bring my wife and kids with me. I wouldn't leave them to be bombed to death whilst I escaped to the... Oh, no, sorry, not the first country without bombs. No, the 83rd country, which is Great Britain, because I could then commit crime, disappear into the system and send money back home.
But if you weren't picking a side, you might be construed as a conscientious objector, mightn't you?
Yes.
Unfortunately, we didn't have millions and millions of them during the two world wars. So I say once again, surely if you're in a country riven by war, you pick a side, join in and try and win it. And if you die fighting for that cause, then will those actions not have been somewhat heroic rather than legging it?
Absolutely. It's 6:20. I have a story for you, which I'm going to do after the break, which actually, in the end, just about sums up why this station exists, why most of us want to headbutt the wall, and why Mike, at this moment, is still in a bar in New York because he had to have 5 days away because it's driving him nuts. I'm going to tell you about how a Sri Lankan mother has run a reprieve, and you try saying that, in her battle to stay here after... I can't do this. Oh, Christ. She can't go home to Sri Lanka. She's got to stay. Do you know why, PB?
I do. I've read it.
Because she's too depressed to fly. I can't. I'm not doing it. I'm going to have a cup of tea. Back in 3. Good morning, 6:23 with Morning Glory. JK in for MG. He's in New York. Don't worry, my darlings. He'll be back on Thursday. Peter Bleksley is here on Keir Starmer's 63rd birthday. I'd love to hear your messages of support for Sir Keir Starmer on voice note, of course, 0344 499 1000, or you could text your birthday wishes to the most incompetent Prime Minister in my lifetime, 87222. Start your message with the word talk. Liam, good morning.
Morning, Jezza. Liam from Kent. Out in the van since 3 o'clock this morning. Lovely jubbly. Anyway, Keir Starmer's birthday. I got an idea for a birthday present for him. Oh, yeah, Rwanda's nice this time of year. Anyway, have a great show. Take it easy.
See, up since 3, Pete, in the van, working people like that, hard working, the backbone of Great Britain, thinking, why am I wiping the backside of people who don't deserve jack?
Absolutely, and so the disquiet goes, but so the disquiet spreads.
It's true.
Because this story, this whole migration issue is, and of course, even the left-leaning lunatic commentators are finally realising that this is a matter that will topple Starmer.
It's not going to go away,
and
and you're right. It's not going to go away. Listen to this story. I told you before the break. Listen, I mean, it's extraordinarily. When I think of Great Britain, I know you and I are old school, and Mike's old school, and there's plenty about the old school that people don't like, but there's plenty that actually put this country where it is. A Sri Lankan mother. I mean, I just want to laugh at my country. Has won a reprieve in a battle to claim asylum after arguing that she can't be deported because she's too depressed to fly. The unnamed woman, of course, entered this country in 2021 after leaving the South Asian country over fear she'd be persecuted for her family's support for the Tamil Tigers. That's fair enough. Apparently she suffers from severe depression. She's not fit to fly. This could be years. A judge initially rejected her claim, saying they did not accept that her mental health made her unable to go. However, she appealed the decision, and a different judge, probably a friend of Starmer's, has now ruled the case must be reheard. The poor woman's having a hard time. Don't go to work. Don't fly home. You just stay here. Man in van at 3 o'clock. He'll pay for you. Unbelievable.
And
man.
that initial judge, about her story of being too depressed to fly, said that, and I quote, it lacked credibility, finding the asylum narrative to be a sheer fabrication, because her story was, I support the Tamil Tigers, so you can't send me back to Sri Lanka, I'll be persecuted. And she claimed that her husband, separated from her husband, of course, husband and wife, not together, in a different country, as you do, or don't, should I say, apparently lives in an unspecified area of a jungle.
Paul Barrett, if the Sri Lankan woman is too depressed to fly, couldn't we organise a whip around to book a taxi to take her son? We're already paying through the nose to keep her and others like her in the UK. Now, I'm going to just be really honest, Paul. I completely agree. There are people who find this sort of thing abhorrent, right? I mean, for us to even dare to suggest, I genuinely want to say this, right? There isn't a racist bone in my body. I've said it to people on air, I've said it off air. But if you really readily expect the average hard-working, taxpayer, law-abiding person to put up with this for any much longer, it's just not going to happen. Pete's right. You're right, Pete. This disquiet, this is not going to go away. This can. Yesterday, what did we have yesterday? We had Yvette Cooper. This was her, right? This was her initially. Was this on August the 8th? I'm going to give you updates. This was a promise a month ago. Have a listen.
We'll provide regular updates for the public at every stage. That's why I'm confirming today that the pilot has now started and the first migrants who arrived on small boat are now in detention. The transfers to immigration removal centres are underway as we speak, so we won't provide operational details at this point that criminal gangs can simply use and exploit.
And the interesting thing about Yvette Cooper was that was the 8th of August, Pete, and it was only yesterday, September the 1st, when we came back, that she even bothered to speak. They went straight on the front foot. But actually, that interesting story Chris has just pointed out in the front of the Mail, 3,567. The one glaring admission from her speech yesterday was she didn't mention the 50,000 people that have come into this country. The Mail had to get hold of the Home Office last night and get that figure. That's a fact. She doesn't even mention it. They won't acknowledge it. They think you're going to stand there and you're going to fob us off by saying, we've got this under control. No, you haven't. It's absolutely not under control.
Of course it isn't. But let's remember the 40,000 that came in the year before that, the 35,000 that came in the year before that, the 40,000 that came in the year before that, and so it goes. And let's not forget, OK, this small boats issue, the dinghies, is but a tiny part of the abuse of the immigration system that is happening across this once great nation.
I agree, and more than the worst. And the worst. I sit here every day and I think to myself, are they that unintelligent? Do they not have a plan? Do they not care? Do they not have a will? Oh, God. Morning, Jez. Pete. Regarding the Sri Lankan lady to breast to fly, let her board the HMS bandwagon with Captain Greta Thunberg. Great show, Shawnee Kidderminster. Steve's in Cambridge. You have to take your hat off to Starmer's father. He made a very good tool 63 years ago. Yeah, it's true. I can't believe he's still here. Anyway, this is true. Yvette Cooper, the whole government. I don't believe there's the will. I don't believe there's an interest. But what I do firmly believe, and I'd love to hear from you this morning on this 87222, start your message with the word talk. I think the British people are not for being taken for fools anymore. I think something's switched on. I don't know whether it's... I don't know. I think it's because we've always been the nation that does the right thing. But now people are really struggling. Don't give me... You know, all the reasons, cost of living, right? All of a sudden they're going, hold on a minute, doing everything right, and I'm at the back of the bleeding queue. It's not fair.
The moderate mainstream are the lion that has awoken.
Yeah.
And the concern about this issue, and many, many others, is spreading further and wider and further and wider. And so many people, length and breadth of the nation, are deeply, deeply concerned, have quite frankly had enough, and can't wait to see the back of this lamentable Prime Minister and his pathetic government.
Well, this pathetic Prime Minister, or pathetic government, yesterday, he had a reshuffle. We saw it slightly differently at Talk. He talked up the fact. See what I did there? The Darren Jones, the ex-Secretary to the Treasury, was going to be his brand new man and everything was going to be fine. We sort of saw it as Rachel Reeves being sidelined, really, because he's brought in a new economics guru who's never studied economics at all. He's brought in a new communications chief, because the last one, probably James Lyons, went, oh, it's been, I'm doing this 11 months. How are you supposed to sell something that's rubbish? Most interesting thing yesterday, Rachel Reeves loses her number 2. He goes to work for Starmer, and she still believes that she's got an angle. We've got the most extraordinary clip. I want whatever you're doing, turn the radio up or stop and watch this. This is the lady, OK, who runs... Doesn't matter that she's a lady, somebody will have a go. This person runs the finances of this country and struggles to answer bloody questions from kids. Have a watch.
I've been hearing about you in the news that you like taxes. If you had 3 wishes, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. To answer your questions well, to make sure that all children have a good start in life, and for my own children to give me less chat back. I don't think that third one's going to come true.
If you could have another job, what would that be?
Oh, well, what I'd really like to be is Beyonce, but I don't think I'm ever going to be Beyonce. So before I became an MP, I worked in finance. I worked in banks and financial institutions. So I guess that's what I would go back to doing. But at the moment, I'm doing the job that I want more than any other job. I'm in charge of the country's finances. All right? Yeah, you happy with my answers? I get a high five. Hey, very good.
I don't think in all of my time broadcasting I've seen anybody look as palpably shocked as Peter Bleksley. You all right?
Those poor kids. I mean, really, they go to school today.
What would you like in life? I'd quite like the guilt, the gilt bonds to go down, the yields. I'd quite like us not to be screwed. I'd like to be Beyonce. She's got the character of a whoopee cushion that's been pushed. I mean, what are we talking about?
3 wishes, and she didn't wish for growth.
No.
And that's all she's been banging on about.
No. Growth, no. And this is, I know this is going to get me good. A shirt that's extraordinary. I'm sorry, I'm blinded by that shirt this morning. You know the most extraordinary thing, and I'll probably get into trouble with this, I didn't know she had kids.
No,
did you know she had children? I didn't know.
It's so be it. It's of zero interest to me. But can we talk about this reshuffle for a minute?
Yes,
okay?
Of course.
Because the Telegraph on page 1...
Yes.
OK.
I'll get it, sir.
...reports that they think it's all been orchestrated by Tony Blair's former chief of staff, right, Jonathan Powell,
yes.
You'll know that name, right? He acts as the security advisor within the government anyway, and they employed a new executive director of communications, didn't they?
Tim Allen.
As part of this reshuffle.
Yeah.
And he's a Blairite.
Yeah. Oh,
OK?
Yeah.
So once again, we get the Blair significant figures exercising their influence within the government, within the Labour Party, and what are so many of the nation's current ills down to the tentacles that Blair spread back in 97 that have infiltrated the civil service, the National Health Service, policing, education, all that kind of woke ideology which has driven us to where we are now.
Couldn't agree more.
And nobody has ever stripped it out.
I'm really
and until such time as that happens, this country will continue to go down the Swanee.
I completely agree, but I'm worried about your blood pressure.
I'm fine.
The thing about you is you make me look calm, which is, mate, I completely agree. What do you make? I haven't had any. Does nobody want to wish Starmer a happy birthday? I mean, it's disgraceful. 8722. Start you. He's 63 today. Can we just go to the break with the story that you found, which is absolutely. If you want to think of hypocrisy underlined, incompetence underlined, just complete madness, Peter Bleksley is going to fill your brain with a story.
Naivety and stupidity need to be added here, right? And I bet that moribund Miliband is absolutely doing his crunch this morning as he turns to page 9 of the Times newspaper.
Yeah.
Because the headline reads, "Electric Range Rover is not secure enough to protect Starmer."
Electric Range Rover.
Electric! OK?
She's not electric.
The close protection teams that protect Starmer and many other significant people in this country, of course, the Royals and the such like, right? Those close protection teams, which are right up there as the best in the world, right, cannot use these electric vehicles because these vehicles need to be heavily armoured so that they're bomb-proof and gun-proof and all that kind of stuff. Well, because the electric ones run on very heavy batteries, they cannot then sustain the additional weight that the armour plating requires, right? That's one reason. Of course, they need charging, right? Very, very frequently, so they're not suitable for longer journeys. And you can't have your principal, whether it be the King or the Prime Minister, sitting around for hours with their arms crossed while the
Somewhere in Hammersmith flyover where they're just charging the electric Range Rover in.
And so it goes. So this drive towards net zero, and while I'm on this subject, right, you know, I just spent 2 days in Norfolk.
Sandringham, having tea.
All the petrol stations that I passed, I did not see one electric vehicle charging point at those petrol stations.
Nobody wants electric vehicles.
Right. All the houses, including the new builds, we stayed in a new build that my mate and his wife had rented, right? No electric vehicle charging point.
No heat
All these
pumps.
new builds going up there, no electric vehicle charging points. So this drive towards net zero, that part of the country, as I saw it, is fundamentally just not prepared for it, so it's not going to happen.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen anywhere, but just to put Miliband in his place, on Tuesday the 2nd of September, his boss's 63rd birthday, the electric Range Rover. I just, honestly, it's been binned off, it doesn't work. Can I just say good morning to Don in Stalybridge? He says, oh dear, Jesse, you've really depressed my wife Linda today. It's her birthday, and the fact that she's sharing it with two-tier Keir has left her utterly devastated, and she's crying.
Blot it out, Linda. Blot it out. Make out like it never happened. It's your birthday,
Linda,
and your
you're with
birthday
us.
only.
We wish you a very happy birthday. Happy birthday. You don't worry about sharing it with her. With him, doesn't matter, does it?
Happy birthday, Linda. I hope it's a lovely one.
Happy birthday, Linda, said the ex-cop. What is it, 23 minutes to 7? What's going on? Oh, my God, so much to talk about, including in the next part. Here's a thought for you, which will put you off your Weetabix. Angela Rayner being gagged. We're back in 3. Welcome back. Good morning. It's 20 to 7. We're live across the United Kingdom. Morning Glory is on. My name's Jeremy Carr. You are lucky people. Mike is back on Thursday. Peter Bleksley is here. We have to say good morning to my children. It's 20 to 7. Mrs. Kyle and the children are watching young Ollie Bolly and Rissy. Do you want to say hello to them?
Good morning, kids. I hope you're having a nice time this morning.
You see, Uncle Peter isn't as scary as people believe. If you want to be on between now and 10 o'clock, 0344 499 1000. Text to 8722. Morning to Kevin Shropshire. Guys, everything that's going on is either incompetence or intentional. I believe the latter. Every time this government have a choice to make, they take the wrong one for the people they're supposed to be responsible for. Good morning to Chris in God's country, Northumberland. Good morning. They brought in Darren Jones as economic firepower in number 10. He's got about as much firepower as a malfunctioning water pistol. Brilliant. Andy Yates, this is brilliant. He's in Mansfield. Yesterday marked 55 years since I joined Nottinghamshire Police as a cadet. Wow. Of course, we're all happily retired now, but I know there will be thousands of us out there willing to strap on the kit and convoy illegal invaders to airports for deportation. Don't tell him your name, Pike. It's true.
There you go. Very true.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, in the late 70s, early 80s, we had a PC at Peckham Police Station. I'm going to name check him. I hope he doesn't mind. Bernie can be, right?
Yep.
And he was formidable with regards to the Immigration Act. And he literally used to nick illegals, overstayers, all that kind of stuff. Every day you walk in the charge room, there's Bernie with yet another prisoner, possibly immigration officers, who's going to be removed out of the country. If this country had a government and it employed people like Bernie with his expertise, with his determination, his knowledge of the law, then all those illegals that are over here would be quaking in their boots.
Couldn't agree more. It is, of course, Alan and Merseyside sums it up. It's to Keir Starmer's 63rd birthday. There's an absolute dearth. Well, there's none. Nobody wants to wish him a happy birthday on talk. You can send your message. Alan and Merseyside's got it right. No. Can we send 63 migrants back to France today to celebrate Starmer's birthday? Don't be ridiculous. In the last 5 weeks, we haven't sent any. We can't do 63. That would be a ridiculous suggestion, man. What is wrong with you? Hello to Sarah in Peterborough. I had a well-paid job and worked hard, paid my mortgage off, but can't bear to give the government any more taxes. So now I work part-time and earn just under the allowance. I have enough to get by and pay the bills. I'd rather that than give this government a penny. I won't fund illegal migrants. Let's talk about the Deputy Prime Minister who's been in the news this week, Angela. She was on a boat. You saw all those pictures with the tattoo and the vape. Big furore about the third place that she lives at Hove, 800 grand. She's got the place up north. She's got the Grace and Favour place in London. How many council taxes? What's her main address? Blah, blah, blah. This is extraordinary. Everybody wants to know this story. Yesterday, her department said... And she said, in fact, I can't go into details about my tax affairs because I've been gagged.
Yes, as a result of a court order,
Why?
apparently.
I smell a rat.
How astonishingly convenient that those probing questions about our financial affairs apparently cannot now be answered.
Absolutely.
Well, where's the court order?
Yeah.
What court issued it? What was it about?
What? Absolutely, mate. And this is them, absolutely. There's a rat here. There is no doubt there is something. And the great thing... Listen, we've all been, at times in our lives, we've had different situations, right? The best thing about certain parts of the British press is they won't let this go. If you are going to put yourself in the spotlight and you are going to pontificate and pass judgment, and as I said yesterday, her story is a great story. If you're going to do that and you're going to talk about working people and caring about everyday people, you are going to have a light shone on you. And if you think you're going to she ain't going to get away with this, there's something that is undoubtedly fishy about this, excuse the pun.
Ms. Rayner, I'm sure you're listening, because any sane person would be. Oh, hang on, I just contradicted myself. Right, there's an expression... Nothing to hide, nothing to fear. Let's hear all about it, shall we?
God, I imagine I'm in an interview room. My interview with Mr. Kyle started at 6 o'clock this morning on a Tuesday. Were you quite scary in interviews?
You're not obliged to say anything, but
Don't you be saying to her. Also, back to Starmer. It is his 63rd birthday. Great article. Well, not really. Page 5 of the Times. Don't devalue the flag, Starmer tells activists. We have one at home. Do you know every time he opens his mouth, in fact, increasingly when they all open their mouth, I just don't believe a word.
Now, the beauty of so many people beginning to reconnect with the flag, whether it be the Union flag or whether it be the Cross of St George's flag, people reconnecting with it. I've always loved the saltire and I've loved the dragon on a flag in Wales. All of these kind of things that I absolutely love. People are now finally beginning to wrestle ownership of that back to ourselves, because for years, if you displayed anything like that, other than in the most formal of circumstances, the lunatic left would go, racist.
My wife texted me yesterday during the show. She said, I'm going to buy a bloody flag at a poll. This is our leader, who apparently, although his government seems to be anti the British people, because did they not go to court and get a judgment against the British people and pro-migrants? This is him now saying, I think flags are very important. This is another inspiring clip. Have a listen.
I'm the leader of the Labour Party who puts the Union Jack on our Labour Party membership cards. I always sit in front of a Union Jack. I've been doing it for years, and it attracted a lot of comment when I started doing it. And in our flat, which is upstairs from here, as you know, we've got the St George's flag in our flat.
So you're encouraging people to put up more flags?
I'm very encouraging of flags. I think they're patriotic. And I think they're a great symbol of our nation. I don't think they should be devalued and belittled, and I think sometimes when they're used
purely for divisive purposes. It actually devalues the flag. I don't want to see that. I'm proud of our flag. I sit in front of our flag, and I'm very, very proud to do so.
Well, then do something about the balmy councils, you total Bells Hotel bit, and get rid of those stupid people who are telling us that we can't fly it. He's in bits here, Bleksley.
The real joy of that clip, for any of you who are only listening on the radio and didn't see it, right? He sits there in front of a microphone saying, I always sit in front of a flag, and guess what? He's not in front of a flag. There isn't a flag there. What a numpty. What an absolute...
It's his birthday. Stop being so horrible.
Oh, my word.
Can you
really?
just not wish Starmer a happy birthday, says Deborah next. He's done bloody well decided. Slim. Imagine being called Slim from Burnley. I hope it's going well. Good morning, Peter and Jez. Apathy birthday is more apt for Starmer. Great show. Keep up the good work. Not many people seem to want to say happy birthday to him. I'd love for him to put a video of the cabinet giving him the bumps times 63. Now, that would go viral, says Graham Haitley in Allsworth. Morning, Jez. Starmer supports Arsenal. Arsenal football shirts display Visit Rwanda, says Sean in Kidderminster. So the whole thing is a pile of rubbish. Charles in Thailand. Oh, yeah. I have a present for Starmer, but I don't know how to wrap a kick up the arse in the post. So that's a great start to our morning. I'm going to leave you at 13 minutes to 7. I'm going to leave you to do a story that you wanted to do more than any, because this all said, should we do it now or after the break? This is about, after the break, ladies and gentlemen, apparently there are people in this country, if you're waking up, who believe that the countryside needs changing because it's a white space only, and basically there are loads of rural racists. I'm back in 3, apparently. I love it. Good morning. It's Morning Glory on Talk, the home of free speech and common sense. 9 minutes to 7. Peter Bleksley, who should run the police if we ever get to a position where we can make those decisions, is with me this fair Tuesday morning and is looking forward to, well, basically you quite like the countryside.
Well, having just been there for a couple of days, reconnected with it, rediscovered my love of it.
Did you have green wellies?
No, there's no need to take wellies. I've got a pair of wellies in the loft, though.
Have you?
Yeah, don't wear them very often.
You're a racist. The countryside is a white space. Male, page 5. This is the sort of tripe that we have to deal with on a daily. This is why this country is on its backside, right? Britain's rural racist. Racism in the countryside is getting worse, with abuse too often tolerated or even normalised, the report claims.
This nonsense is of a different level, and it is brought to you via the Daily Mail, but really courtesy of the University of Leicester, one of our proud seats of learning, you know, where kids go to get indoctrinated into Marxism and all that kind of nonsense.
Morning, right? Peter.
OK, so the University of Leicester, they decide that they're going to do this really credible, in-depth research into racism in rural communities. Now, you know when you see an opinion poll and you say whatever company it was interviewed 35,000 people.
Yes.
Yeah, to get their percentage on what people are going to vote for and that kind of stuff. The University of Leicester interviewed 115 people.
115?
115. Right. So it's a really in-depth piece of work.
Not really.
It's really
strategically
credible.
Selected as
really credible. Yes, yes. And 20 community groups.
He's on it this morning.
We know what they mean when they say community groups, don't we?
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Was it the Boys Brigade?
No.
Was it the British Legion?
No.
Did they pop down a Conservative club?
Certainly not.
No, they probably did none of the above.
No.
Anyway, it's claimed that the countryside is a rural space, and do you know what? There's some really, really bad stuff going on out there. Really bad stuff. There is non-verbal clues are being given as to people's racism, such as unfriendly body language. Oh, my word! Imagine being offended by unfriendly body language.
Well, what's unfriendly? Sorry, what does that mean?
Well, you'll have to contact the University of Leicester.
It's this, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, go on, roll your eyes. Oh, unfriendly body language.
Oh, Peter Bleksley. I don't even to speak. Watch this.
Yeah, you're persecuting, rolling your eyes and persecuting me.
I am persecuting you because you're a horrible human
That's what
being.
I'm going to contact the University of Leicester.
Well, you won't get any answers. They're too busy. What else? What else?
Yeah, so it goes on. One of the groups that's not very happy about all this is the Countryside Alliance, of course.
Yes.
Because they stand in defence of the countryside.
Good for them.
The beautiful British countryside, which if Miliband has his way, he'll cover entirely with solar panels made in China that might catch fire if the sun shines too
But a text from your wife saying, can he calm down? We haven't had breakfast yet. Go on, crack on.
Yeah. So it goes on. And basically, it's a load of nonsense,
it's
really.
It's extraordinary, isn't it?
That they just blanket kind of...
I have no time for any... racism is fundamentally wrong, but this country is stuck in this warp of misery and problems left, right and centre. And the University of Leicester, how much did that cost? A couple of $100,000 or something, was it?
I think they're too ashamed to put a price on it, actually. I mean, it can't have been that much if they only interviewed 115 people. I mean, really. And then they pump this nonsense out as some kind of credible, in-depth academic research. Oh, my word, how I'd love to enter the world of academia.
Right, there you go, 5 to 7. I'm going to finish this wonderful ad with Peter Bleksley. By the way, so it's Stalin's 63rd birthday. With inflation, he'll be 65 by this evening.
Hey,
great,
good.
love it. Peter the Great, loving the show. 87222, start your message with the word talk. 0344, let's get a colour on. 344, Front of the Sun. Now, are you a Strictly fan?
No.
Why not?
Because it's dross.
Got offered it once, genuine. Jeremy Kyle in spandex, not happening. Like Dancing on Ice, get lost. Strictly fat jabs alert. Basically, 5 stars are on the what is it? The I don't know.
Manjaro.
That one.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, they're so scared that they won't last the rigorous training campaign. That they're all stuck. Everything's being.
Yeah.
What is all that rubbish?
Yeah, well, they're weight loss jabs,
Can I just? I'm going to upset somebody, right? But sorry, this is just a view. I understand that some people, tread carefully, Christian, have issues with glands and things, right? Okay. I'm not sure whether these fat jabs down the line are any good, but as Mike and I have always said, you are what you put in your mouth. And I haven't as yet met anybody who doesn't eat a lot that's 25 stone. Or drink a lot.
Well,
I'm not trying to be rude. I could go further. You know, eat less. Exercise more.
Yeah, eat less,
Well, it's not
more.
hard, is it? Oh, I'm a lifestyle expert. How do I improve my life? Look at Mikey. Mikey's changed his life, hasn't he? He's only drinking 4 bottles of red a night now. No, he's eating better and he's exercising. He looks fantastic for it. Take bloody responsibility. Oh, society needs to make sure that I have a jab from the NHS because I like to eat a lot of burgers.
I'm a fat bloke and I'm here for a good time, not a long time, and I'm going for a croissant now.
Are you? What sort of croissant? An almond croissant?
Something with chocolate in it.
Really? I saw one saying a raspberry croissant yesterday. I should at this point point out that I can't have a croissant because I have been diagnosed... don't laugh.
I wasn't.
What?
I wasn't.
I'm that celiac and that other thing, so it's not great.
Right.
Oh, we got a voice note. So you have a
Lovely.
croissant. Darren, on Starmer's birthday. Good morning. Is this Darren Jones?
Morning, you two, you pair of legends. Darren over here in Holland. Do we even know it's his birthday? I mean, he might be lying about that as well. The best thing he can do is he can do one before his next birthday and give us all a present. All right, lads, have a good day. Ta-ra, man.
I wouldn't have put the accent. Hello, Darren. I'm in the Netherlands. What do you think he's doing there?
Who knows?
Had a trip to Amsterdam.
In a cafe, having an early breakfast.
You haven't yet spoken about the amazing show Mike and I are doing at the Shepherd's Bush Empire on Saturday, November the 15th.
Which reminds me to go home and get my tickets.
Well, you should do. By the way, I've been told there's less than 50 tickets available. This is great news. We're almost sold. Ticketmaster.com, Ticketmaster app, Saturday the 15th of November. Shepherd's Bush Empire. It's called the World of Common Sense. It's going to be anything but. It's going to be madness.
With special guests?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you... Yeah, that's why Mike's in America. Are you going to come? And don't give me what everybody else in this building thinks. Oh, can I have a freebie? No, pay your money. The money we pay you, bring Mrs. Bleksley. We'll bring her on stage.
No, you won't.
Why not? Let's get the truth
She
about...
ticks the no publicity box in her pools coupon every week.
Does she do the pools still?
No, but if she did, she would tick the no publicity
She doesn't like a bet?
She doesn't like publicity.
Does she not?
No.
And she's married to you?
Yes.
How long has she been betrothed?
30 years.
Jesus, get less than that for double murder. The legend that is Peter Bleksley. You've 1 minute on Starmer's 63rd birthday. What's your pause for thought? What's your thought for the day?
Well, I think, you know, there needs to be a gift to the nation from Sir Keir Starmer, OK, on his birthday. I'm sure he's been receiving gifts from the children and from his wife, if she's still around. I haven't seen her lately.
No, I haven't either, no.
But, you know, so in the spirit of giving as well as receiving, I think he should give the nation a gift which ought to be his resignation.
Which we will receive with the undue thanks it deserves. You are amazing. We love having you on. The legend that is Peter Bleksley. When power changes, this man should run the police. It's great to have you, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. News at 7 on the way. Matthew Torbett, former Labour advisor, who said on the night of the general election, this is as good as it gets because it's going to be a nightmare. He was proven right. 0344 499 1000 is your telephone number. Text to 87222. Do please start your message with the word talk. Morning Glory back in 3. God bless you, my children. Welcome along. The Morning Glory is on. Mike's back on Thursday. We're here for the next 3 hours. We got rid of Peter Bleksley, right, because Peter Bleksley does an hour because he charges so much money. And then Matthew Torbett's trains bugger. So we got you back.
Am I getting paid overtime?
Oh, it's all about the money. Before I go to the phone lines, and there are loads lined up, 0344 499 1000, you're going to love this, Bleksley, right?
Yeah.
So during the break, I get an email, I'm not going into details, from the insurance company that do my buildings and contents on my house.
Yeah.
Right? And they're just giving me the requote. Literally, the woman's name is Miss Safe.
Marvellous.
She's called Miss Safe, and she's trying to sell me buildings and contents insurance, which got us thinking. And then Christian comes in, because Christian's the font of all information. And he went, at primary school, he said, I had a music teacher called Mr. G Sharp.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Followed by, we're pointing out to us that at some point, some time ago, the BBC, I know, were doing a report on the fuel shortages. Do you remember the fuel shortages? And the reporter was called Phil McCann.
Yeah.
Come on, Blex. He said anything you've got like that, I'd love to hear this morning. 7 87222. Start your message with the word talk. Now, we're going to speak to some people on the... What are you doing now?
I've got something funnier.
Oh.
I found something funnier.
What?
And it's from the front page of The Guardian.
Well, it would be funny. I don't actually, can I be honest, I don't have that newspaper.
No, right, OK.
I used it this morning to wipe
It's just a headline that's flagging up a feature that's in another section of the newspaper, right?
Oh, my God.
And this is the most stupid question which could only be asked by The Guardian.
Yeah.
And, of course, it's such a stupid paper it doesn't realise it's being incredibly stupid.
No.
And the question is, why are so many vegan restaurants struggling?
He's gone again. What's wrong with veganism?
Because why are they struggling? Because they're rubbish and nobody wants to eat the dross that they serve up.
7:05. David, on Keir Starmer's 63rd birthday, girl.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Keir Starmer. From the migrants who love you. Happy birthday, Keir.
Nice. 63 today, Keir Starmer. What would you give him for his birthday? Is P45? 87222. Start your message with the word talk. Don. I am surprised that we don't have a bank holiday on Starmer's birthday. We could all celebrate the great leader. Yeah, dream on. Don, to the phone lines. Andrew is in Essex. He's a brand new caller to Morning Glory. Andrew, you're on. Good morning. Peter Bleksley's with me as well.
Well, it's good to hear you two. Wonderful, wonderful. I just want to start off. I've got a couple of things, and one of them, you guys, might just be able to answer the question. The first one is, I work in television, and I work with every creed, colour you can imagine, and I'm not racist. I'm really not. But I can't work out how we're spending more money on people claiming benefits than working. I mean, you've only got to do the math. Something is going to go wrong. But anyway, that's one of the points. Point two, I'd like to see if you can help me on this, because I can't get my head around how this doesn't work. They're saying now that you cannot deport migrants unless the country they are going to acknowledges their receipt and they were willing them to take them in. Now, if they're not going to take them in, we're stuck. However, they then went on to say, and this other channel, they must be as thick as two planks, but if they're saying that once they leave France and they get halfway across the water, they are our responsibility.
Yeah.
So why the heck can't we take them back halfway across the channel and leave them? Then they would be France's responsibility. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right. First question, you work in television?
I do. I'm a presenter, yes.
Right, not for long if you have these opinions. Good morning to my friend Rylan. Don't worry, listen, that's from a man with a 15-year career that used to be. Let me tell you something, categorically, you're absolutely spot on right. They talk about returns agreements. Farage has talked about returns agreements, Pete, hasn't he? He's talked about making things from countries. But apparently, despite the fact that they will say we don't want them back, we, once they come into our waters, it's our responsibility, which would respectfully suggest to me that the thing to do is what I've been talking about for 3 years, which is put the Navy, for example, at that moment and turn those boats back so they're not in British waters. Why is that so unfair, Pete?
You mentioned his name, I'm going to pick up on it. Boycott anyone who cancels Rylan. Rylan was just echoing the views of millions of people. Of
course he was.
And if anybody cancels him, shame on them.
Well, he's not going to be on ITVs this morning.
Well, to answer your question in broader terms, Section 3 of the Immigration Act, 1971, says it is a criminal offence to enter the UK without leave to remain. OK? It's a criminal offence. However you come in here, if you've not got permission, it's a criminal offence, all right? The lefty commentators will conveniently ignore that. The real lunatic lefty ones will say, oh, well, it doesn't apply to refugees and asylum seekers. It doesn't say that in the Immigration Act. It simply says under Section 3 it's a criminal offence to enter the UK without leave to remain.
So what we need, Andrew, a new caller from Essex, is a government with the balls to actually stand by what's on the statute book and do the right thing. Thank you for your call. Let's head to Devon. No, it's not. It's Dorset. Oh, lovely. I don't know why I've done that, because I live in Dorset. Jordan, whereabouts in Dorset? Are you allowed to say or not?
Yeah, I can say near Blandford.
What?
Near Blandford.
Excellent, Blandford. Very nice. No idea where it is. Right, Jordan, speak up, you muttery man. You're on Morning Glory. Go.
Good morning. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm just honestly completely worried with the state of the country. I've got a 7-month-old daughter, and I'm worried what life she's going to be brought up into, what country she's going to be brought up into. I really hope that they change this horrible Labour government and get someone with actually some right common sense in and get the country back on its feet.
I think you'd speak, Trev, for loads of people, and Jordan, and I said the other day, which is really interesting, right? I have so many children, it's ridiculous, but my youngest daughter is 18, 19 months, Iris, and Ollie's 6 in January. And for the first time in my life, guys, I think exactly the same. I whether I'm in London or I'm at home, and stuff I hear and stuff I see, Pete, the very fabric of what I believe this country was about and what actually I will teach my kids. I mean, listen, Jordan, I told the story again. I did it. I told it yesterday. I tell it every day. I came down the lift 2 weeks ago here in this building, me and a woman. As the doors opened, I said, after you, and she said, why? Because I'm a woman. That to me takes away almost everything that I was ever taught, Pete. And that's what I'm going to teach my son to do, by the way. Open a door for a woman and open a car door for a woman. That's what I'm going to teach my son. And I ain't apologising to any bugger for that.
Manners maketh man. My mum drilled that into me, and it stuck, fortunately. Jordan, first of all, enjoy that beautiful baby daughter of yours. Yeah. They grow up very, very quickly. Spend every possible moment you can with her. And every night before you put her to bed, make sure you kiss her and tell her that you love her. That would be my parenting advice. Anyway, right, of course, he's kind of... the demise of this great nation. Yes. He's mourning it. He's mourning it. And forgive me for harping back to my trip to Norfolk for a couple of days. It reminded me of the UK of many, many years ago. It was polite. There was humour from the people that were serving us food. You could have a laugh and a gag with them. Of
course you could.
And there was... After you, sir. After you, madam.
Now you're too terrified that somebody's going to cancel if you say good morning or good afternoon or can I open the door or that wasn't nice. I mean, awful.
It was there in abundance. Yeah. A man pulled up yesterday in the car park on a beautiful-looking motorbike. I've never owned a motorbike, but it was on an N plate, the old-school N registration plate. I said to him, excuse me, how old is that motorbike? And thereafter, we had this brilliant 10-minute conversation when he talked all about overhead underhang and gangle sprockets and all sorts of things.
We're not trying to lose
that I didn't understand.
Yeah, good.
But, you know,
no, I agree.
I long for that as well.
Trev, Jordan, the answer is this, mate. I guess it's on us, the people that seem to maintain a degree of sanity, to keep pushing that to our kids. Thank you for your call. Very quickly, Trevor's in London. Very quickly, Trev. 30s. What's that light doing? Oh, that's the look at that. That's the morning light coming through. Look, it's like it's a shroud. Good morning. Sorry, look at the sun. Right, hello, Starmer's birthday.
Good morning.
Oh, sorry. Trev, what do you want to say? The sun is shining in my eyes.
What I'd like to say is I grew up in Northern Ireland in the 70s, 80s and the 90s, and the government at that time oppressed the people.
Brilliant. So he grew up in Northern Ireland, but unfortunately his phone doesn't work. Can I tell you a true story? It was a gag I saw from a comedian whose name I can't remember. And it was Michael McIntyre. Michael McIntyre. He said, the only accent in the world you can tell without a person opening their mouth is the Northern Irish accent. Do you know why? This is how a Northern Irish person sneezes. Achoo! Morning, Trevor, you're back.
I'm sorry, yes. What I'd like to say is that does this government not learn from its lessons?
No.
In Northern Ireland, where the oppressed were pushed back, terrorism grew, hatred grew. And is this what they want to see happening in the future? I don't want to see it. I don't want to see my kids see it.
I completely agree, mate. I think your frustration is shared by so many. We appreciate your call. Pete, 12 minutes past 7, 0344 499 1000. Betty. Do you know Betty? Oh, Betty.
Oh, well, I might do. Where's she from?
Peter is the one person I would love to have an early breakfast in Amsterdam with. I've no idea why you've got to go to Amsterdam for breakfast. I don't know whether it will be a chocolate croissant. Good morning to Janice in Chester. Quote of the day from Peter. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I remember that one. Keep piling the pressure on Starmer, boys. Jason P, I hope Sir Stalin has made his own birthday cake. I'd have happily made it for him, but I'm not... No, we're not going down that route. We remember that story. Anna's in Surrey. The guy who put our air conditioning in it was called John Frost. This is based on the fact that I got... If you just tuned in, I got an email this morning from the lady trying to renew or sell me building and contents insurance, and I swear on my life she was called Miss Safe, which is ludicrous. Then, of course, Christian bailed in and went, my music teacher used to be called Mr. G Sharp. Richie's in Grimsby. When I was in secondary school, my religious education teacher was called Mr. Christmas. I'm dribbling now. Ian's in Sheffield. Oh, for Starmer's birthday, we should book him a one-way trip to Ethiopia with his pal Angela Rayner. Great show, thank you. Oh, hello. I had a teacher called Miss Smarty. Let's not talk about her pants. This is the best, though. Phil. Morning, gang. My dad had to see a consultant. He had bowel problems. He was...
I'm bracing myself.
He was called Mr. C. Pyle. He was called... Do you know that's what they called me at school? Kyle Pyle Hemorrhoid. That's what they called me. Oh. And this is true. Gary from Canterbury, and we'll move on. It's brilliant. He said, there's a guy in the New York Apple store. There's a genius guy who helps me out every time he's called Samsung. He's literally called Samsung. How can he can't be called Samsung? Gary Canterbury, brilliant. Any more of them? 8722. Starting messages. Are we allowed to have such fun in such a miserable existence?
Of course we are. It's so important.
Yeah, it is.
That we're in these troubled times that somehow, some way, we grasp onto something that we either love with all our
Go to the Big Apple store in New York and say,
it's going to make us laugh.
Can I speak to Mr. Samsung, please? I should go because you've got a problem with your backside. Hello, my name's Mr. Christopher Pyle. Really? There we go. Back to the phone lines. Hull. Oh, Steve, good morning, sir. Welcome to Talk. How are you?
Morning, Jeremy. Morning, Peter. I've just rung my mother to wish her a happy birthday. She's 93 today.
Who is?
And I told her she shares her birthday with Keir Starmer, and she's devastated.
Is she there?
No, she still lives alone.
You leave her on her own at 93, you hideous human being.
My mum lives on her own at 96.
But she's devastated, spoiled her day because she shares her birthday with Keir Starmer.
What's her name?
Margaret.
Margaret, 93. Is she listening right now?
No.
Brilliant, excellent. OK, well, there's no point in me saying happy birthday. But I take your point. Tell her not to be devastated. Tell her to keep the faith and tell her we love her very much indeed. You're very kind. Alex in Liverpool, a very good morning. Love you, Jez and Pete. Peter for Home Secretary.
See, beyond policing. You see, you always pigeonhole me and say, yeah, come the revolution, you can run policing. There you see, a caller would like me to have a larger, rather wider remit, so I could do prisons as well, and I could do immigration and all that.
What do you want to do?
Stuff.
Take over the bleeding country? There's a queue. Listen, somebody of you don't take this. How old are you?
Oh, thank you very much for ruining my morning.
How old are you?
I'm 65.
You're only 5 years older than me, and yet I almost, and this is actually a compliment, you remind me of my old man, not because he's dead and you're still alive, but because the values, and I'm being completely serious here. I refuse. I had this argument with my kids the whole time. I am not apologising for the stuff that I was brought up on that put me here, and other people. There is plenty that you can go, oh, you know, oh, it's not right. That's the way of the world, but I am not having every goddamn thing that I was brought up to believe in, stuff that you talk about, we talk about, trashed.
Likewise.
Russ is an early riser. I don't wish to know. Voice note, go.
Morning, Jezza. Russ from Hertfordshire here. Up at 4 o'clock this morning, cleaning all the windows in my town so that the immigrants can come to the shops, look through the windows and see what they can buy with my money. Anyway, have a good one, Jezza. Thanks, mate. Bye-bye.
Good man. We're going to break in a minute. Very quickly, keep those texts coming. Tim in London, I just got on the tube to let a lady sit down. The look I got from her was wow from the other men. What are you doing? Sit down, mate. You see what I mean? Pete, yep. I was thinking, says Keith Bennett, September the 2nd should now be called a National Day of Mourning as it's his birthday. This is brilliant. Steve, I used to... Can't do this. I used to work with 2 German automotive engineers called Mr. Reck and Mr. Prang. You can't. Mr. Reck and Mr. Prang. Derek said, Norfolk. He said, I went to a dentist once and the bloke was called Mr. Fang. You can't do that. But I'm going to the break with Katie Young, and I expect a sense of humour, peeps. Morning, Jez. My initials are KY. Can you imagine what happened to me at school? Back in a minute. I've got to go to a dark room. Cheers, Pete.